Oh, brilliant. That was a very good joke. Sorry.
We have to do it. Hello and welcome back to the finish line, and we're
live. Come on.
You just asked me if I was still drunk. You two are definitely still drunk.
Brilliant.
I'm only after waking up.
Oh, no, you haven't. Anyway, welcome back to the finish line. Another episode of Talking Points where we will be looking back on everything that happened at Royal Ascot over the past 5 days. And we're joined by Sam from Next Gen Racing, where he has to eat a bit of humble pie after. But anyway, so that we'll get to that in a while. How's everyone, by the way?
Good. Few winners. Joan of Arc today as well. Beautiful.
She's all right.
Yeah.
Tom, how's head?
English lads aren't doing too good after the weekend. One of the most abysmal England performances I've ever seen. I mean, on the previous said it's coming home, but it definitely isn't coming home.
No, it kind of makes Ireland look average now.
I have said I actually thought England had the players, but I mean, if you're going to play the players that he's playing, then you're definitely not going to win it. So,
especially when you keep someone that scored 16 goals and 20 odd assists or something like that, sitting on a bench.
I just don't understand how. I'm probably getting too much soccer, but Jadon Sancho was just playing all the games, and now he's not allowed to play anymore.
Yeah, we're not a team.
Yeah.
We're not a team. We've got the players, we're just not a team.
It's mad.
Got the players, they're just sat on the bench. That's the problem.
Yeah. Or in the stands, because you can't have some of them on the bench. You can't bring them on.
That's so true. Yes, we're here to talk everything Royal Ascot. So we have the 5 days to go through. We're not going to go through every single race, more or less the races that we covered. I might have missed one or two because I've done these like an hour ago because I just didn't know what today, so I wasn't able.
Oh, we had a good day in the pub yesterday. So.
It was a very good day.
And I did tell you, Tom, those pints of Guinness in the Woodman bar are quite nice.
They were very nice. We had a good bit of crack with them trying to get the racing on the TV and get the Euros off. That was good fun.
I got a little bit frustrated, didn't I?
Small.
Yeah, I was getting angry.
The waiter, Dave asked the waiter to go and get the channel to get the racing turned back on because we got there early and the racing was on all the time until 2 o'clock, and then they put the French game on. And Dave asked the waiter to go and get the match on. He was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna try or something like this." Barefaced lied. He did not ask.
No,
he didn't ask, right? He didn't ask. Then he comes back out. I was like, what's the story? We're here all morning. We want the racing on, and he's like, "Oh, I'll go in and see if they're doing that now." So he comes out, and then he disappeared. So I went inside and said it to him, like, "No, we can't do that. Like, there's 4 big TVs here, but they're all in the same system, so the same thing has to be on each TV."
I was
nice. Like, okay, like, there's not much I can do about that. I was like, nobody's watching that French and hungry bollocks. But like, it is what it is. So off I pops back out, and he's sitting down. Next minute, when the TV changes to racing TV, and I was like, "Well, he just fucking lied to me."
We finally got them to change it, Sam, right? And then what did they do? We were like, "Can we get the racing on?" So they put racing TV on.
Racing TV,
like,
they had part on.
And then what happened? They actually got it right. It was on. And they changed the channel a furlong out before the finish.
Yeah.
And we missed the finish of the race.
We missed the finish of the jersey.
All you hear is...
And then the waiter eventually comes back. I said, "Come over here to me, you know. You lied to me." I didn't lie to you. I didn't know. I was like, "You lied to me. You said they couldn't change it."
Lies.
Good crack. COVID central, though.
COVID didn't exist in
there.
there.
I actually enjoyed it, to be honest, because there was no one gave a shit about COVID for a few hours.
No. It was like being back in 2018.
If one person had COVID in there, we're all fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Nah, sure, look.
They're literally like, "Can people sit beside you?" I was like, "What people?" "Oh, just people from outside." It's like, "But sure, we don't know them, and we don't know where they've been." "Yeah, but we want to get more people in." I was like, "What?"
Sure, me and him went out for a burger, and we came back over, and the queue to get in there was mental.
It was good crack now because we were holding out, not having people on our table, and there's packed picnic benches, and we're on one of the centre tables, and there's 3 of us, and there's about 15 people sat each.
And then eventually a couple sat beside us, and what's your man doing? Watching Royal Ascot on his phone.
Royal Ascot.
You can stay. Oh, good times.
Well, that's where the fun ended for me, really. I finished last in our tipping competition.
Oh.
I had an absolute man.
I nearly fell off the chair when he said it.
Did you see the message?
No.
Did you not see the message that like Kubo tagged him in because he was like, "There is no way I can finish last in our tipping competition. It just won't happen."
A few moments later.
Oh, that aged so well.
I was the only person not. I was the only person not to score 100 points.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, right.
That was terrible.
How did you do? No one cares. I came second.
Yeah, I don't know because we didn't see the full leader, but I think it was like 10th or 11th. So I was okay.
You weren't last. That would have been embarrassing if you were on a podcast.
It's very embarrassing.
Oops. Sorry, Tom.
What's worse is I started backing them on like Thursday. I started betting, and yeah, I think I'm just taking a few weeks off now from gambling. To be honest, it's rough. Back in Falcon 8 at like 9-2, and then him going off at like 7-4 or whatever it was to get me out of trouble in the last. I was feeling really clever, and I looked at it halfway through. I was like, "Lads, where is he?" He's like.
But like you went away from the tried and trusted in them races. Jumps trainer, jumps horse, over 2 miles plus.
No, Falcon 8's a Dermot Weld horse.
He's not a jumps trainer.
He's a few.
He's a shit trainer.
Wow. Dermot Weld never coming on this podcast.
I'm only missing. Dermot's not. He's not.
You can't go back on it now.
No.
You've said it.
He's been bad for a few years, lads.
Well, there you go. To be honest, it's Frankie's fault. Everything that went wrong this week is Frankie's fault.
Is this the Stradivarius excuses coming up?
I'm not ready for that yet.
Oh, I cannot wait till we hit the Gold Cup.
I'm not ready for it.
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm only on it for that. You've literally texted me to say, "Sam, can you come on so I can absolutely rinse you midway through the podcast?"
Never. Where's Jack? I'll wait.
He's probably playing cricket or something. He had a shocker. I mean, he had Starman and Primo Batcher on the last couple of days, and they both got pulled out.
I'm taking everybody down about love as well. I told you I'm not talking about it last week, but I have loads to say today.
Yeah, sure.
Her didn't turn up, so you can't say much.
Her main danger was taken out, so
he's an absolute donkey.
He's so angry when he's hungover. Anyway, into the racing. We start with Palace Pier on top of the world. Done what we thought he'd do.
A load of crap, really. Terrible horses behind him. I want to see him play. I want play. Just play.
Wow.
I want to see him go against the 3-year-olds, and then we'll see what the crack is.
Yeah.
I was just doing what he had to do, wasn't he?
Yeah, I have no great feeling on it, to be honest.
Tom, do you have any kind of feeling on it?
Lope Fernandez teasing you again, Dave.
I
reeling you back in.
No, I won't. I can't. I probably will, but I shouldn't. Like
you will.
You're so going back in.
I just don't know what happened to him the other day. Because like, why didn't he do that now in Newbury when I backed him each way?
Lose. That's what he always does.
Oh, he's second. Like,
no one remembers second.
What I want to know is how, in God's name, Order of Australia won that race at the Breeders' Cup last year. How?
Drugs.
Wow.
It's in America. No, as in America.
The old Lasix.
Yeah, whatever.
Lasix and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Lasix and the Bob Baffert polos.
And the outside stables. Never forget or underestimate the outside stables.
Lasix, in fairness, is probably your answer to that, joking aside.
Yeah, which it just doesn't make any sense because he's absolutely useless. Like.
Yeah.
Unless he really enjoyed the American track and loved flying around the bend. I don't know.
That's true.
Possible, yeah.
That's also true. No further thoughts on Palace Pier?
Well, I just think that Dave's right. I don't think he's beaten much there. I actually think that the horse, if he were to go for something like the Sussex Stakes on good or good to firm ground, I just think that the horse would be worth taking on with the 3-year-olds because I think he does prefer a little bit more juice in the ground. I think he was just up against a poor field, to be honest, and did what he had to do. But I think he could potentially be beatable on quicker ground with some decent 3-year-olds. Personally,
I would be backing the 3-year-olds against him as well.
Yeah.
Get the 3-year-olds getting weight. I think he's beaten bad horses, and some of the 3-year-olds are actually okay. Not all of them, no, but some of them.
If Palace Pier or Poetic Flair turned up against him on that kind of ground again, 100% back Poetic Flair.
I'd back
100%.
Poetic Flair and I'd back St. Mark's Basilica against him.
You have a hard on for that horse.
It's
But you'll never see him run Ring.
two good horses.
He's just going to run.
It could be St. Max Basilica against him because they could both turn up in the pre-Jack Lamarwa.
Yeah.
In your French accent, please. We got this. Finish
Jack
line.
Lamarwa.
Ooh, I like that one. Moving on. Oxted bounces back with a bang. Back to 4. That was meant to be 4. It's a day after drinking. I don't care. Sam, what do you make of this? A lot of money from in the build up to it. No,
there was, but I think he's a horse. I said in the preview, just can't seem to get him right. He's so on and off Oxted, but he clearly enjoyed the quick going at Ascot. And I don't think we saw Battaash to his, I don't think he's fully fit, and he'll definitely come on for the run. I think he's already 5-4 favourite for the King George Stakes at Goodwood, which he's going for a 5th one of those. But I just think that he will come on a hell of a lot for that run. He will be tough to beat next time out. But Oxted's one of those that he's probably going to turn up in the July Cup and run a decent race. But I think there are better horses out there. I just think that it was a bit of a weirdly run race. But I still think Battaash might be the best horse in that field.
Did they go wicked quick at start? They went wicked fast.
They went too fast. The sectional showed that they went too fast at like the 2 to 3 furlong pole. But Ascot, the 5 furlongs at Ascot, is just really stiff at the end, and Battaash doesn't really stay it. He's better on faster downhill tracks like Goodwood. He's vulnerable at the last half furlong at Ascot. He got away with it last year because there wasn't any other kind of Group 1 horses in the race. Whereas the 2 times before, he was beaten by Blue Point, who was a proper Group 1 sprinter. And again, beaten, like, he stopped the race at the half furlong pole, he's winning by a length. And then he doesn't stay.
He started hanging in against the Ray. You knew his time was up. The legs were gone.
Tether is gone. But they did go too fast.
But yeah, I think wherever he runs next, he just wins.
Yeah,
the speed is still there. You could clearly see the speed is still there.
Very fast, yeah.
Very fast. What do you think from Tom? Oxted?
Yeah, I think Oxted is he turned up in the form that saw him win the July Cup last year, but he's kind of lost his way a little bit in between. There's been a few excuses for him, but this started my 5-day love affair with a horse called Kingslin. It started off well. I said, "Oh, I like the look of you. You got a nice white face. You met a bit of trouble in running there. You were travelling well."
Oh, sounds like great, nice.
Saw he was entered in the handicap on Saturday. He was absolutely chucked in. Said, "Lovely. I'll have a bit of that. Can't get beat, lads." And then he got beat, and that's the end of that one, basically. So, it summed up my Royal Ascot.
That was a really good story.
That was a great story.
Yeah.
It's like How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on. So, if Oxted came up against Battaash again,
depends on the track. For me, anyway.
Away from Ascot.
If it's a Goodwood, Battaash will win.
They won't. I don't think they'll meet again. I don't think Oxted will come to Goodwood. I think Oxted will go July Cup and Battaash will be straight to Goodwood. There's no way they'll miss Goodwood with that horse. Seems to love it there. So I don't think you'll see them face each other again this season, personally, but we'll see.
Yeah, but Battaash should have a good chance at Goodwood. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I'd rush into backing him at very short odds. Though.
Oh no, you wouldn't back him at 5-4 for that race now. No chance.
No.
Would you take Battaash to the Breeders' Cup this year just for the crack? See how fast he can go around the bend.
Glass slippers.
Yeah, I'm not about glass slippers. What about Battaash?
Well, there's no point because glass slippers is going to win.
I'd take him to the Breeders' Cup. It's been said so many times that I'd bring him this year. Well, you got nothing to lose, like. So.
Just see how he does. He
Makes
breaks well, gets the rail, and goes. And
he has no stud value, so you may as well.
Why not? Like,
Do you reckon they'll go there or the Abbey? Could that potentially be on?
I'd be very easy on him. He's only starting his season now in June. I would be very easy on him, and I'd try and do both, to be honest. Which might sound mental, but horses have done it. Tarnawa did it last year. So
glass slippers done it.
Yeah, I'd give him an easy time. I'd go to Goodwood and keep him fresh though, and try and do both.
Yeah.
Now, second best performance of the week. Poetic Flair absolutely cruised through this race. You could call him the winner 4 furlongs out. up there, up the best milers around now.
Oh, he's definitely one of the best of the 3-year-olds anyway, and it was really impressive performance. I didn't think
And can do it on any ground.
4 or 5 races already this early in the season, but he was well and truly head and shoulders above what he was against the other day. So,
Where next, Sam? Poetic Flair.
Did you want me to get Goodwood reference in again? But yeah, straight to the Sussex Stakes will be literally all I'd be if I was Jim Bolger. I'd be straight there. He said that the quicker the ground, the better for this horse. I know he goes in all ground, but Jim Bolger even said that the quicker the ground, the better this horse is. Doesn't always come up as good ground on Sussex Stakes there. I know 2017 there was a bog out, and here comes Wen somehow won a Group 1 and won the Sussex Stakes that year. But no, I think he'll beat Palace Pier if they met in this race. But I don't think that Palace Pier will turn up here. I think it's a shame Lucky Vega's getting retired after that performance, going straight to Australia. That's one disappointment with the game. And the horse that I did say that would run well, who I thought he did show a lot of improvement, that was Battleground. And I think he'll also turn up at Goodwood as well because he's won the vintage stakes there. So I personally think you might see the first and third go straight to Goodwood for the Sussex, but we'll have to see.
What are you thinking, Tom?
For me, that was probably the performance of the week. The way he was taking a pull 2 out was just insane. Basically, I couldn't really believe what I was watching, and then I was wondering, was he going to kick on? And by God, he did. He had a lovely turn of foot and kicked on. He's got him won by 4 1/4 lengths. The time is a second and a half faster than Palace Pier, which is quite interesting, really. That's a fair distance. I'm really interested in him wherever he goes, especially if he does run against the older horses with the 3-year-old allowance. I thought he was really, really impressive.
Sam just touched on there with Lucky Vega. This is one of the problems that people don't get sucked into flat racing. Lucky Vega being retired already. It's just, does it make sense already? The season's only at the start.
He's losing anyway.
Hey, but would you not go and win your Group 1, try win your Group 1 as a 3-year-old?
There's probably money on the table already, so it makes no difference.
Hey, you just want to get on to the next one, don't you? Love is in the air.
Yep.
Go on.
I told you she's going to win. There's no doubt in my mind. And I don't care what horse didn't run. That's the God's honest truth about it now. I think Jack said about O'Dara, give her a chance. She's a very good filly as well.
She got a horror trip to get and be that close. That was a good performance.
Very good filly. She'd probably end up back over at the Breeders' Cup again. But Love is just taking her on at your peril. She's going to be better and better as the season goes on. So
she's a tough chestnut now. Give it to her.
She just knows how to win. She's a will to win.
Tom?
They're really gutsy performance. I know she got beaten in a 2-year-old career, but as a 3-year-old, she'd beaten all around her by many, many lengths. So it was really good to see her go and put her head down and really battle. And God, she did battle. I think the form stacks up. O'Dara second, Armory, who was very good at Chester, was third. I think that's a strong piece of form. And going forward, she's got the fillies allowance, hasn't she? It'd be interesting to see what she does. Step up to mile 4, no doubt. Just looks like she wants good ground, but no, she's very tough. And the irony for our tipping competition that anybody who tipped Lord North was put onto the SP favourite, which was Love. So there's a few Love haters out there who picked up 15 points.
What are you putting me for?
After Lord North is not running.
So I would have got 15.
All the people
Hold up now. I would have got 15 points either way.
All the people trying to get our bet ended up getting 15 points. You're right, Tom. The irony.
Yeah.
There's another one there. Look, up in the top box there.
What?
Tui, Lord North. Oh my God.
It was only a matter. It was only a matter of her turning up now. Once Lord North was gone, she had nothing to
literally
beat.
said it. He bet Felix. Yeah, that's a horse called Felix. was third in that Group 1 he won over in Saudi Arabia or whatever it was.
It's not a cat, it's a horse.
Please stop with this Lord North. Honest to God. And he bet Japan last year and stop.
Shall
The
I
right-
be honest with you? 'Cause
Tom
I've got to be
said
honest.
it. The right horses were in the top 3. Lord North probably would have been last anyway. So
No.
I don't know that.
Now, look, if I'm being honest, if Lord North had turned up in that race, which I was shocked that he didn't on the ground, to be honest, but if Lord North had turned up, I think it would have been a closer battle than I actually expected, being honest. And if Love were to take on Lord North now after that run, I'd be all over Love, unfortunately. But you've got to be honest at the end of the day. But I thought the performance was very impressive. She battled well, and look, I just think that she's a very classy horse, taking on the Colts for the first time in a while, and she did it really well. She looked beat at one stage by Ordario, who ran an absolute stormer, but Love just battled on that rail for more. It was more at his best, really. But yeah, a really impressive performance.
Where do you go now? Do you keep her? Sweet. Give her a little break, bring her back for an autumn campaign.
nah, I
Arc.
imagine she'll run again. Maybe go back to Ascot for the King George. I'm sure they'll step her back up to 1 mile 4, like Tom said. King George maybe back down to 1 mile 2 for the Irish Champion Stakes, and then Breeders' Cup. She has Breeders' Cup all over her because she likes that fast ground, like so.
Skip the arc.
Yeah, I
Really?
would say I'll skip the Arc with her. They have a couple of fillies anyway to go to the Arc, so
Right,
what's
if-
the point?
Genuine and good ground. Arc week. She comes up against Tanawa. Who are you backing?
Oh, I back her.
He knows who the better filly is.
No, I back Love.
Yeah, but you know who the better filly is. You should have said it straight off your head.
I
You had to
honestly
think
don't-
about it. You had
I
to
honestly
think
don't
about
think
it.
she go for the Arc. I wouldn't back her for the Arc.
It doesn't matter if she goes to the Arc or the Breeders' Cup. She's going to meet Tarnower, and Tarnower's going to beat
I
her
think
every
he
single
has
time.
Snowfall for the Arc with all the allowances as a 3-year-old, and I think St. Mark's Basilica will end up at the Arc as well.
And they'll be looking at Tarnower's tail.
You have to look at her head first. You haven't seen her.
That's because she has an autumn campaign ahead of her. Everyone knows that. He's happy now. Look at him. Happy camper. Where are we going to next? We are going to Muhafieth. Fights off Roman Empire. Do you like that?
That's a good one.
Took me all day to think about that one. Good performance. Traveled the best. Done it well. What would he have done in the Derby? We don't know.
He's ground dependent. He needs good or firm ground, but it was a good performance.
Sam?
Yeah, he was always going to win the race, and as much as people said that there should have been a bigger inquiry into it, he was always head and shoulders above Roman Empire. He was an absolute battler, but yeah, I think he looked really good. I think they might step him up. It'd be interesting to see if they do so. I don't think he needs to, but they may do so. But as long as he gets good ground, I think he'll be tough to beat. Whether he would have won the Derby, I'm not 100% convinced, but I think he's a smart horse and he's improving. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Tom, any thoughts on him? Where you go next?
Not a Scooby-Doo. Probably
I'll
Goodwood.
throw him in the deep end there. See what I'd say.
Not a clue. I don't know. There's a nice novice hurdle the first day of the October meeting at Cheltenham, but no, not a clue where
horses in that one now.
not a clue where he'd go next. But I thought he was impressive. In fairness to him, he travelled very much like the best horse. I know he cut across Roman Empire, but he was miles clear of him. Roman Empire's never winning. The form's a little bit questionable, I imagine. It was a Group 3, and that's the level it probably was. Some of these Group 2s, Group 3s listed races at Royal Ascot can normally be better than the actual grade. But I think that was probably a Group 3 with him being the exception. So he's got to go and step it up again, but I wouldn't put it past him at all.
The Gordon Stakes at Goodwood over 1.5 miles might be an obvious target. That's a Group 3, I believe, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the one of Goodwood I was on about, Sam.
Yeah.
Good, because I couldn't give two flying fucks where he goes.
I think he could see him drop down and trip back to a mile, to be honest. It's a lot of speed.
Good for him.
And not the drug. Just he's fast.
You know, just you would think of that.
Yeah, just clarifying.
After our day out yesterday.
Yeah. Just clarifying.
There were some at 1 o'clock in the day. There were some bulbs around.
1 o'clock in the day, there's lads holding on to the jacks, standing up, like, swaying.
Let's just be realistic in saying that Colombian marching powder is rife in Waterford.
It was madness walking in the pose and everything. They were, what in the name of God's going on? Anyway, Love and Dream caused a bit of a shock in the Ribblesdale.
Terrible race.
Noon Star was chronic again.
Terrible race.
Awful race.
No, I've nothing to say.
I just put it there because we previewed it. I don't care about this race right now. Who does? Hands up.
Well, just quickly, would you drop Noon Star back to a mile and a quarter?
I'd drop her
never
into the
back her
breeding.
again,
I'd drop
I
her
said.
into the breeding sheds.
Yep. Have a few babies for yourself.
She's well bred, yeah.
She's very, very keen.
Yeah.
She's very useless.
That's true.
I do agree.
I'd
Sam.
drop her. I'd try her.
I'd drop her back and trip. Yeah.
Drop her down to a mile, throw her up by the pace, see what happens.
Who's she by?
She's buy a horse out of another horse.
She's by Galileo.
I think the dam is midday. I might be wrong. I haven't got
She's by Galileo out of midday. Yeah.
Galileo out of midday, who was a fine mare herself.
I was going to say.
And midday won the Nassau Stakes at Goodwood, which who knows? How many?
Are you on commission from Goodwood or something? Every time you mention Goodwood, you must get a pound or something, do you?
She will not even have a Bob's hope in the Nassau Stakes at Goodwood.
No.
I will grow hair again if she wins the Nassau Stakes. That's genuine fact.
I have no idea.
Her mum did it, so they might just go there. But it might be a big price, but they may go there.
Her mum was a good racehorse. Noon Star is not. There knows the difference.
True.
You're very harsh about her. Jeez, she's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, the horse she beat won the race. Worcester. Loving Dream won, and yeah,
It's true. Yeah, I
Great
go
horse.
back and trip, Sam. I think you're right there.
A great horse trained by John Gosling, rode by a great jockey. That was not Frankie Dettori.
Who wrote it?
I don't know. One Frankie Dettori anyway. That's all I know.
Rab Havlin wrote it.
Rab Havlin, are you for real?
Great jock. Should have the number one job there, John Gosling.
Rob, let's try our best to get beat on the second string.
Yeah.
Havlin. Mother of God. Yeah.
Wow.
This is good. I love
You spelled it wrong.
I couldn't give a shit.
Okay.
Did he?
I don't know, probably.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I
the question
don't
there,
care.
Seth,
Yeah,
now.
you get back in that chair there, you know. Where's this little montage you say you're going to play over and over and over?
I've actually got it on my phone. I've had it since the preview, just literally saved, but I haven't used it. I should have sent it to you.
Sometimes when you just nail your colours to the wall and you win, and well done.
Thanks.
You know what I mean?
That's
That's
very-
well done. You tipped him and he won. This was a prime example of a bad ride on Stradivarius, though.
I put him up.
I do think
I put him up as anti-post tip as well.
I do think he wouldn't have beaten Subjectivist, more than likely, but I do think he probably would have been second. And Frankie didn't even try to ride him out to finish for anybody that had a wee play spot or anything like that. It was a shocking ride by Frankie Dettori. He's miles too far back. 4 furlongs into the race before they went around the first bend, I texted Andrew and said, your chap has a right good chance here because Frankie is way too far back.
Great race.
How can you give a front runner that kicks off the bend? That's what he did the last time, and the last time before that in France. How can you give a front runner like that 20 lengths of a head start?
This is music to my ears.
It don't make any sense.
Look,
He was too far back.
he was too far back, yes. Would it made a difference? No.
I don't think it would have, but at
'Cause
least give
if
the
you-
horse a chance, like.
You look at where himself and Princess Zoe are more or less together for most of the race. Princess Zoe finished better than Stradivarius. It was the whole, he's not getting any younger. The legs are going to get slower.
I agree with you, but the other thing is where he was.
Oh no, he wasn't given
where
given
he-
the best chance
where
in the
he
race.
was, he's a hostage to fortune. Princess Zoe got out and got able to make a run. Stradivarius didn't get out, and he was way too far back when he eventually did give out. Like, he was way too far back. And all week, from as soon as they went on the round course, if you were up at the pace, you had a chance of winning. Like I can see it watching it on TV, so how can the jockeys not see it? Like, and Ryan Moore did it loads of times as well. He was way too far back in some of the Aidan O'Brien horses. And I like Ryan Moore. He's had a good season, but he rode some of them badly as well.
It's very true. Look, the Stradivarius wasn't given his optimum place and to put in his best performance.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the horse because he's going for history and all that.
Would have made a difference. Probably not on the way Stradivarius or Subjectivist won. He wasn't even pushed. He wasn't given his all at the end. He wasn't like
Stradivarius wasn't horny either, so I'd say there was something wrong with him.
Old.
I don't think that. I don't think that
catches up with you.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with being horny.
But like I said, if like this is the best horse he's meet since Kew Gardens, and he is, and he's going to take some hell of a beating for the rest of the season and next season. Will he win it again next year? Write it down. He will. There's nothing there near him to beat him.
Aidan will find something.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Aidan
Supplement Serpentine again.
I didn't need to give up with that horse.
Sam, what do you think of it? It's a great race, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to try and get him beat. He will be beat, was the quote. And it was a famous quote, and somehow you did it. But yeah, fair play to you, Andrew, fair play. It was a good winner. But Dave mentioned it there. It wasn't just a front runner. It's a Mark Johnson front runner who's known for these tactics. And it was just performed perfectly by Fanning. It really was. Now, Stradivarius was given no hope. He got an absolute clattering off her on the V as they came around the bend. The horse just dropped back right through the field and absolutely clattered into him. Stradivarius lost all momentum. You can watch it back, and it really didn't help his chances. Now, I'm not saying he would have won, but it would have been a lot closer. And I think it would have been a lot closer. I don't think it would have been a clear sort of 2 or 3 lengths. I think there might have been sort of half a length in it, personally. But we'll have to wait and see. There's obviously going to be the rematch. Hopefully a Goodwood Cup. We know Mark Johnson might take his horses there. So.
We have to do a shot game next time. Next time Sam is on, every time he meant Goodwood.
Yeah, there was actually one horse on day 2 that would be interesting for O'Brien. I know it's probably a bit of a yak to be honest, but Wordsworth was the horse to know. He stayed on a dream in the Queen's Vase, right? Aidan O'Brien last season won that race with Santiago, then went to the Goodwood Cup, then went to the St. Leger. Now, whether he does that with this Wordsworth, who stayed on so powerfully, I don't know. But potentially that could be an improving a horse over 2 miles next season. But that might be his horse that he goes to war with next season over 2 miles. But we'll have to wait and see if they go for the Leger. But look, if these 2 horses, Stradivarius and Subjectivist, met in the Goodwood Cup, I think it'll be a hell of a battle. I think Frankie will ride the race a lot differently. And it'll be a lot closer. And we know it's Stradivarius' home turf. He's got 4 of them. Can he make it 5? We'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a hell of a clash on the Downs, I think.
Just be a procession.
It won't.
Just from looking at this.
Wordsworth will win the Leger.
Wordsworth
right on
back
that.
on a bit of ease on the ground will absolutely hose up. Said you straight away after the race. Get him back on softer ground and he'll piss up wherever he goes.
Yeah, he's so slow.
He's so slow.
He's so slow.
He just needs everyone to just stop.
Huh?
I think St. Leger's a great show.
Yeah, the Wordsworth's all definitely Aidan O'Brien St. Leger horse.
Oh, it just stays on and stays on and stays on.
Got to be up at the pace though. There's no turning foot with that fella.
No. We've just come run past beating horses. Anyway.
You're tired, Tom.
So, right,
I am. I'm wrecked, to be honest, lads. Yeah, I want to talk about this race because this is a race that I can talk about. Because
Princess always going hurdling. Yes!
It's back on, Tom.
Yes.
It is back on. We told you. 2022 Mayor's Hurdle winner. Come on.
Marsh Chase winner. So he's going all happening in 1 year. Honeysuckle.
He literally
Come
said
on.
it. The time is now. Over the jumps. As long as our legs stay healthy, we're game ball.
Price? Anyone know the price at the moment?
I don't know.
Favourite,
Take my money though.
Andrew has to go and ruin it with that absolute bullshit about that.
Nah, you said that about Zoe last year.
Yeah, I said she won't go. I said after she won her Group 1 and was going for a Group 1, I said she won't go hurdling. I also said after a second run this year, if she ever goes hurdling, this is the year.
Backtracking.
Come on.
Backtracking.
Tony Mullins says he wants to go for the Cadran. The owner wants to go hurdling. This was pretty much the same thing last year, and I think Tony Mullins got his way. I think you could run in the Cadran and then
run your maiden hurdle the week after.
Well, maybe not the week after, but yeah, you could you could at least give it a go anyway.
10-1.
She also went on the ground as well, so it's
Yeah,
all
that
in
was
now.
interesting.
I mean,
Take my money.
She's 20-1.
Where?
William Hill.
Yeah, I've just had a text come through saying, Sam, just to let you know, it's 20-1. And
Yeah.
that's price.
I will get on to Hollywood Bets and I'll get you 22-1.
Oh,
Go for it. Yeah, that's an interesting angle now with her.
Come on,
I'd love
Zoe.
to see them do it. I don't think they've got much to lose now. Unless she didn't like. I do see the breeding point, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do, but maybe I've got a bit more sporting now, and maybe I'd like to see her go hurdling. So,
He's spending way too much time with us, isn't he?
yeah. It's amazing what a day drinking with you two do. Strad is going to go off and breed lots of lovely national hunt horses. Cannot wait to see some of the horses he breeds.
lovely, big chestnut.
Big, beautiful chestnut-looking bastards in
Loads of them.
Pimlico colours.
Loads of them
Let's
fellas.
stay with a turn of foot. Yeah.
Like
I can
Subjectivist.
tell you, I will be buying one of his 3-year-olds when they first come to South.
Did you want to get on to your best mate
that's
Henry there to get checkbook out?
That's an exclusive now. Yeah, I can't wait to see his progeny on the track.
He's very excited there. See, the second we got talking about John's race and he came to life,
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
he's all happy and smiley. But it's going to happen. She's going jumping, lads.
It's on now.
There's the double. The Prix de Cadran, Mayor's Hurdle, double.
Yeah, that's
Novice
actually not a bad
hurdle.
shout.
Novice
don't
hurdle.
back her for the mayor's hurdle.
No,
No,
novice. No,
novice.
no, novice.
Mare's novice.
Because if Tom has his way, Honeysuckle will be running that.
Subjectivist could go to the Cadran.
I thought I was going to say
I've been to
Subjectivist.
France
But
before.
no offences.
Nah, Subjectivist, nah.
He's too good for that now.
Goodwood, and then the race at Ascot.
Champion
What's that
Stayers.
one? That's the one, yeah.
Which
yeah.
one?
Champion Stairs one.
Or long
And then
distance cup, I think it is. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe back to the pre-Royal Oak then again.
Yes. That
Yeah,
makes no sense. I'm just
that's
saying,
a
yeah,
big
I've no
fan,
idea
Andrew,
what
yeah.
race he's on about. Zero idea what race he's on about.
Andrew's just going to look up the colours in the.
I know. I just look up Subjectivist entries back and forth. That, and that. Okay.
That's a great way of doing things. Yeah.
Hey, it worked out so far.
I can't wait to talk about the next race.
Surefire hangs on from Sir Limerick.
Oh,
Literally
right.
hangs.
Yeah,
Dave O'Keefe, the floor is yours.
but this is another episode of Roy Moore being bad on Nate Ryan horse, and Sam brought up Wordsworth. He gave him a bad ride as well. The only thing I don't understand about this is what then happened to Dragon Simba.
We get on to
And
that.
myself, yourself, and Tom were talking about it. And Tom was saying he interfered with the thing that eventually came like 5th and 6th. But he interfered with like 4 horses, right? He went this way, and then he went back the other way, and then he went back this way, and then he went back the other way, and just took
Then he
out,
decided to go that way.
took out half the field, right? Ryan was too far back anyways. He wasn't even involved in it. But like, if you're going to just decide race to race, oh yeah, there was interference in that one, we'll give it to Frankie. Nah, there was interference in that one, but we won't give it to. Like, it just don't make any sense. And like the time with the jumps race, when the Alan King horse that you backed
Good times.
came 4th, I think, and ended up winning the race because of the interference in front of it, and then they couldn't place the horse that was involved in interference ahead of the horse that finished them. So the thing behind them, like, I just don't make
In
any
my
sense.
opinion, that was one of the best rides I've ever seen in my life. He knew that interference was going to happen, so he just stayed back out of the way.
I just want, I'll be honest, I prefer the rules like they have in France. Because if there's interference, bad interference, you get placed behind the horse that you interfered with, no matter where they finish, and at least it's consistent.
There's zero consistency in the rules.
Inconsistencies are crazy. Because if you, especially at a big festival like Royal Ascot, you don't do it one day, and then the next day, then because it's a Group 1 and it's a high-profile race, and the American trainer, like, he gets the race, then I was like, what is going on in this place?
We'll talk about that one in a minute. Look, this one isn't as bad as the other one. Look, I know the whole he's at the taint now half the field. Well, 7/8 of the field.
Yeah, well, there was a good few horses taken out. The Godolphin horse, especially.
What baffled me was there wasn't even a Stewards Inquiry about it.
Nah.
Like he's clearly after bumping 3 or 4 horses on the way over. He like the second he wasn't involved in any of it, but look, would have got changed? No. Should have been looked at? Probably yes, but would have got changed? It wouldn't have got changed the way the rules are. He should have looked at it at least, see how bad it was. Would it interfere with the place horses behind him, which it probably would have. Was it bad enough to put him, stop the second win and stop where it finished third from finishing third? We don't know because we didn't get to see it properly.
It had nothing to do with Sir Lamrack. Where he would have finished is where he would have finished. But he definitely interfered with the things that were like 4th, 5th, and 6th. They would have been closer.
But then you can't really throw out a winner.
But they did it in the jumps race.
But that was third placing. See, the one, you're right, you are comparing it to the jumps one, but in the jumps one, it was clear that the two, he was absolutely battering the fella that was coming in second. He cut across them altogether.
Yeah,
but
then the horse that finished behind him was placed ahead.
Yeah, I know that rule is stupid. I know that is stupid. But it's the fact that, who was it again? Surefire wasn't interfering with the fella that finished second, so they couldn't realistically put him in front of him because he didn't interfere with him.
You make sense of that, Tom, please.
I just think I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. I think he got clear daylight down the outside as he quickened, and then he's hung in. But as soon as he's hung in, he's put his hands down and straightened them up. And there's a horse also coming from the outside, from the inside coming outside. So I think it looked worse than it was for that split second. I think the difference with the Campanelle one is Oisin Murphy hasn't put his hands down. He's just carried on.
Oh, but he did. He did. He straightened. He did when he started drifting in. He straightened him and he went forward.
And he changed his whip to the other hand.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think they're completely different. I don't think there should have been any question about this horse getting choked out. So I thought he was one of the best horses in the race, depending on what you make of the second. I thought the second probably should have won. But that was it really. No massive opinion. I wasn't too upset about it. What do you think, Sam?
Do you know what? With regards to this one, I'm a bit like Tom. I haven't really got too much of an opinion. I think the rules are very up in the air. Don't get me wrong. But it was a really interesting run. I mean, Sir Lamrack, by far the best horse in the race, in my opinion. Carrying top weight and doing that was pretty impressive. But in terms of this race, I've got not a massively strong opinion on what the stewards could have done. But I think you're right that maybe they could have looked at it, at least been an inquiry. But I don't think anything would have happened at all.
Yeah, I don't think the places would be changed. But at least look at it. Yeah. Anyway, we move on to the other one now in a minute. Alenquer, very, very good in the King Edward's. Top class horse.
Yeah, this was an obvious bet to me. Myself and Tom said it in the preview show. Like, his form was just so rock solid. To even still go off the price he did, to me, I thought was outrageous. And he just looks uncomplicated as well. He tries hard, quickens, stays. He's a good horse.
Tom?
Yeah, I think it was my knack for the week, I think. And it's just, especially when Sir Lamrack came out, I just could not see him get beaten, to be honest. His form is miles ahead of them. He looks a lovely horse. He travelled very sweetly. There were talks of the King George, the St. Ledger afterwards. I wouldn't go that route with him at all. I think he's loads of pace, this lad. I think 1 mile 4 is his trip. I even wouldn't be too afraid about coming back down to 1 mile 2 if there was a suitable race for him. But
I wouldn't be going anywhere near the Ledger with him. He's way too good to be going to the Ledger.
I think he's way too much speed for that. He travelled very, very well on the bridle. A little bit keen, if anything. And I wouldn't be. They were saying that and giving quotes afterwards, and That wouldn't be my thinking of what to do with him. A mile 4 or a mile 2, I think would be fine for him. And yeah, he's an exciting horse going forward. No idea where they go with a horse like that now. But up into Group 1 company and see how he gets on.
Does he look ground dependent, Sam?
No, that's the thing with this horse. He won. I mean, we've got to remember this horse has actually beaten the Derby winner Adair in the Sandown Classic trial. I think Adair should have won that day, to be honest, but it was still a very gutsy performance, and that was on good ground. This has come on sort of softer, heavy ground, but I think the horse actually likes a bit of juice in the ground. I think Haggis actually mentioned with this horse that he doesn't mind a bit of juice, and it does help him. But I think he is very ground versatile, so they could go anywhere with him. I think sort of the next race they put out, I don't think he'll ever get pulled out because of the ground, because I think he'll enjoy it no matter what. And Tom said Group 1 company there. I mean, the obvious one where he get a bit of weight is the King George. Now, it's a big step up, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I thought in the end, with the rain coming down, I think he was actually becoming one of the bankers of the week. Probably one of the best looking bets or the easiest bets of the week. But yeah, I thought he was impressive. It'd be interesting to see what Haggis says and where they're going to put this horse next.
The King George over the last few years has been kind of enabled one of the few times, but it hasn't become the best. It used to be like the mid-season highlight, but it's kind of dropped away a bit. But I think you can see a good few horses in it this year. I think Love could turn up. I think he could turn up. There's a few others. I think it'll actually be a good race because you'll have fillies, 3-year-olds, and older colts all going against each other.
Yeah, the fact that Nable's not around now might become more.
Yeah, it opens it up a bit. Like
more appealing.
More horses will enter.
Adair is the favourite for the King George at the moment, by the way.
I think you could see Wonderful Tonight turn up there as well, possibly.
Yeah.
She's lot of rain. Anyway, now we will move on to this. Campanelli slays the dragon in the Stewards room.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you like that?
Really good one, that.
See?
I felt hard done by.
Now, before we get into this, just before we start talking about points in what happened. I haven't backed any of the first two, so what I'm saying is what I think. So I'm not talking from my pocket. I don't think the places should be turned.
I felt hard done by. I put him up on the podcast, and I said any race because I was unsure what race he's going to go for. I thought he might even turn up in the King's Stand, but I backed him for this. Obviously, didn't get paid. Then they won't pay first past the post if it's an anti-post bet. I don't know. I just felt hard done by, and I was strong on him and Supremacy in the preview show. Supremacy got taken out because of the ground. I was like, right, he's the horse now. I thought KCU had a chance, but he was the main fancy, and I don't know. The inconsistencies in the interference are there, but he interfered with her, and she still went ahead. And then he battled back, and he was another couple of strides after the line. He was 3/4 of a length up. So he was definitely the best horse in the race, 100%.
Right, my view on it. Yes, they got carried away. Oisin brought Campanelli across the track, obviously about say 7 lanes across.
Yeah.
Okay. He did try to straighten the horse, which is in the rules. If you're interfering with the horse, straighten the rules, correct your horse, blah blah blah. Done that. You can see it on the head on that. He does drop his whip, straightens her. He goes forward.
He gives it through. He has his whip in his right hand when he makes the first interference. And then after he's made 2 interferences, he puts his whip into his left hand. It's poor riding.
You just love Frankie Dettori. That's all.
Poor riding.
Tom's Frankie Dettori, best fan. Biggest fan. Loves Americans.
Not at all.
Best horse.
I had no money on either of these two either, so...
The interference,
you can't carry a horse all the way across the track, be 5 lengths clear, get beaten ahead, and expect to keep the race. There's no way in the world he was keeping that race.
I tell you now, if this race was in some bog standard track, I guarantee you that would not be changed.
It was changed because it was at Royal Ascot.
It wouldn't have been. You know it wouldn't have been. How many times during the week do you see a horse bring another horse across and nothing happens? They get a slap in the wrist, don't do it again. Place is unaltered. The best horse actually won the race in real time as they finished. The best horse won. Campanelli went past him and Dragon Symbol got up again. He won by a head, and by the time 4 or 5 lengths past the line, he was 3/4 of a length up.
Yeah, but if you ask yourself this now, if Campanelle was on the other side and ran in the straight line, which there's nothing saying she wouldn't have, and that horse drifted all the way across the other side of the track, who would have won? Campanelle.
But then if you're thinking of that, horses are creatures of nature. He was obviously would have came back over next to him. They like running, battling against him.
Nothing saying he would have. He
But
hung right.
Oisin would have done that. You're not going to leave him wander. You will have the power to bring him.
Oisin let him hang into the other horse. So
He actually went a good bit up and got lonely. And then she came up and he hung into her. She went ahead. And as soon as she went ahead, he started going faster again and was up on the line. So
I think it was a very soft
immature.
turnaround. Very, very soft overturn.
I can't believe you feel hard done by that, and you're giving out that Surefire should have got kicked out. Right?
The one thing
I never said sure. I said that wouldn't have been changed either way. Oh,
the one thing I'll say about it is him, Rohan, and Diligent Harry. Those three Rohan's a gelding. Those three horses, their form is all interlocked and tied in together. They will continue to win races all through the season. Dragon Symbol will win the July Cup.
I still have to see Diligent Harry, for the love of God. When am I going to see him?
And just to back that up now, I'm not bashing Oisin Murphy, and I actually felt really sorry for Archie Watson. I felt so sorry for him, like biggest win of your career. And he knew, like he walked over to Oisin as they were coming in, and he was looked at him and was like, we're in trouble here. And he knew they were in trouble. And fair play to him. He went over and congratulated Wesley Ward, which probably one of the biggest down moments of his career. You've just won and then lost a race at a Group 1 at Royal Ascot. Fair play to the guy. There's lots of success coming his way. And, you know, Oisin was top jockey at Ascot this week. He's obviously fantastic. I just thought he was poor on that horse. But
all American horses,
he comes out and wins the next race.
All American horses overbet. And she wouldn't have won if Dragon Symbol had done things right, and he would have went home with no winners. They're all overbet. All them 2-year-olds he brought over are all yaks.
But away from that, but I think the point that it should be mentioned is the rules need to be changed. There needs to be a clear-cut rule.
There just needs to be consistent.
Like in France, if that was in France, you seen in France straight away, you know that was going to be changed. Yeah. Instead of us sitting here in England or Ireland, you're thinking, Jesus, he might keep that. Jesus, he's not going to keep that, but he might though. The rules might bend in his favor. The rules might bend in the other one's favor. There needs to be a clear-cut rule. If you're taking from X to Y without doing whatever, correcting the horse, you're gone. End of story.
I think those rules are there, though. It's just our interpretation of them. We're a lot softer on these things, which to some extent is good because they are horses at the end of the day. But I think what hurt, I think it was always getting overturned, but I think what hurt Oisin's case there was he didn't put his stick down. He didn't put two hands on the rein and try and straighten them up. And yeah. But sure, we saw the Rob Havlin thing last year, and Rob Havlin was trying to say it wasn't his fault, and he went, we slowed it down into slow-mo, and he completely took a horse out. So if you talk a good game in some of these inquiries, you'll get off lightly. So
what's your take, Sam?
There we go. Well, I've looked back at it plenty of times, and Tom's kind of summed it up. Oisin, about a furlong and a half out, had the whip in his right hand. Right, the horse did move to the right as that happened. Right, he then somehow, for some reason, stuck the whip into his left hand with about a furlong or 3/4 of a furlong to go. The horse then started to violently go right, and then just as they meet and as they come up to the line, he then switches it back to the right hand, and you see the horse pull away from Campanelle. That was a really fascinating ride. I mean, we're obviously big fans of Oisin over here. We're delighted that he's got top jockey, but it was a really interesting one to watch. And why he's done that, I'm not 100% sure. Now, who do I think the best horse in the race is? By far, Dragon Symbol. And even Frankie admitted to that. Frankie said that the best horse, so he said it to Oisin, the best horse in the race is Dragon Symbol, right? And Andrew, you said the horse was pulled 7 lanes across. I think Frankie said in the Steward room, apparently it was more like 8 to 12 lanes. But he's going to say that. He's got to fight his corner. He's got to over-exaggerate what it was. But, you know, it's a fascinating one. The rules do need to be changed. I'd love to see Archie Watson have a big success and Dragon Symbol go to the July Cup and win.
He'll win the July Cup.
He's 10 to 1 for that at the moment. Best price I've looked into. I mean, he's probably going to go up against Starman, who didn't run the Diamond Jubilee, and we all fancied. He was actually our joint selection right at the end of the preview. But Yeah, I think Dragon Symbol's a really, really good runner, and he will prefer good ground as well. That's the fascinating thing. That wasn't his ideal ground that he got at Royal Ascot. He still performed like that. So I think he's a real fascinating one going on good ground again. I think Archie Watson could get that July Cup. It'll be a really fantastic winner, and justice could be done. But personally, for me, I think Dragon Symbol should have kept it. But that's my opinion.
See, that's what's wrong with the rules. So people would give us, if there was 4 different shorts in the room that day, he could have easily kept the race. See, I know Tom was saying that the rules are there and it's good that there's maneuverability in them, but is it good in the long term when you have?
Sure, we're constantly talking about it. So to me, I just
Well,
think it should be
the other thing here is, lads, I'd rather have this debate than we're getting lines drawn on telly, and if you move 2 lanes across rather than 3 lanes across, then you're out. And if it's
like VAR
out, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, VAR has ruined the enjoyment of watching football for me.
Yeah.
Like, you score a goal and you might as well just sit there for 15, 20 seconds and then celebrate. So I would hate to see that come into horse racing, that if you've moved this much or that much, it gives talking points. Just to put this into perspective, Dragon Symbol is a Group 1 winner waiting to happen. I think if the 2 horses went in a straight line, he would have won. I think if Campanelle was the other side and she went straight and Dragon Symbol did what he did, Campanelle would have won. Dragon Symbol only started racing in March this year. He's had 6 runs now in his life, and he's gone from winning at Wolverhampton in March to being second, to winning and then getting demoted in a Group 1. It's a rapid rate of improvement. The horse is completely riddled with talent. The only other time he's been beat is by Rohan, and Rohan went out and backed that form up completely on Saturday. He was a very impressive winner. So, yeah, he's a Group 1 winner waiting to happen, and hopefully it happens sooner rather than later for them. And another interest, he's actually a fascinating horse, because Oisin Murphy actually said that he bought the horse for the Japanese owners. Yeah. So, it's a really good story, and it will get its day in the sun. That story will. Because he's loads of talent, and Oisin's a fantastic rider. He just gave one a little bit of a bad ride, but sure, every footballer, every rugby player, they all have off days. Frankie and Ryan gave plenty bad rides this week, so it just happens.
The thing is, as horse racing fans, we should all agree, or we should all know the rules, and it would have made this conversation so much simpler to say the right decision was made. But we're now, we're disagreeing and agreeing in certain areas, and it's just, that shouldn't be the case. We should know the rules and know what should have happened, but we just don't. This could have been a 2-minute conversation saying, the right winner was, picked, but we don't know that. That's the worst thing about it.
I think it's the interpretation of the rules, though, because I've spoken to a few people on this over the weekend, and the verdict is split on whether he should have got it, and told the lads who were punting their money on Betfair and stuff, and I had to go on Betfair because I thought it was certain to be thrown out, and other people thought there was no way he'd get thrown out. So it's the interpretation that the stewards have, which is that's up for another debate. But I think centralized stewarding would sort a lot of that out, to be honest, and that's surely to hell we need to go down that route. Like, I don't see why we can't. So.
Now, I'll say one more thing on this now, just as another angle. If he won by half a length, we'll be talking about this. Is it only the reason the margin was ahead?
Probably.
Yeah.
The margin has to be close. On their interpretation, the margin has to be close. I think half a length would still have been close enough. A length and a bit, no, I don't think he'd got thrown out.
I genuinely thought when I heard that the distance was ahead, he's fine. If it was a nose, he was gone. Mm-hmm. I thought ahead he's fine, or nose he's gone.
No, I thought it'd have to have been over a length, but again, that's my
exactly. There's so many interpretations of it. Like, say if me and you were sitting in the stewards room on that, there'd be a split decision. It'd go down to the head fella then. Or if the three of us are in there, me and him said no, he's keeping it. You'd say no. There's so many interpretations. There needs to be a black and white.
I would rather this though, lads, than bloody drawing lines on replays and
I know
all that rubbish.
I totally get that, but there's so much disparity in the rules. Look, we got a good 15 minutes talking about that.
It's entertaining though, isn't it?
It is.
It's discussion points. We're an entertainment sport, like, you know.
Now we'll move on from this. This one will make Sam smile. Look, he's smiling already before I even said it. Alcohol free, very good winner. Never in a million years that I think she'd win on that ground. And the irony in this, I was drinking an alcohol 0 when I was watching this, and it never even dawned on me to back the horse. It's just front you, back it, Andrew. Sometimes it's as simple as that. But Sam, take it away. One of your big best bets of the week.
Yeah, she was the best bet of the week in my eyes. I mean, I think she was 12-1 when we put the horse up and went off 11-2. I think as short as that, well backed on the day. Look, the horse in the Guineas, I mentioned it. The horse when this horse ran the Guineas looked like the winner a long way out. Travelled so strongly, and there was obviously something amiss with the horse. The horse found absolutely nothing off the bridle, and everyone seemed to think the horse wouldn't stay and all this, but when we managed to have Oisin on the preview, and he said the horse was not, there was something, the horse was ill, was the way he described it. The horse was not right that day. And he said the horse would come on a hell of a lot. And the ground actually did suit the horse. I mean, Oisin said it would have been good or good to soft could have suited the horse, but even the soft ground, he wouldn't mind it too much. And look, the horse went and did it so easily. Now, Jack's been messaging me since the race and said that Primo Baccio would have absolutely destroyed this lot. But you know, on the day, you know, you've got to go on what the ground was. And I just think that the horse was just very, very impressive and alcohol free. I'm not sure she's going to be, you know, a world-class top horse going forward, but she's got that Group 1 on the board, and I thought she was mightily impressive.
Yeah, I thought she was very good. I backed Snow Lantern myself. I thought he got an offer right, but I think she's one to look forward to going forward. But alcohol-free, Dave.
Yeah, but she travelled well, and more. I don't get the whole Prima Baccio thing, to be quite honest. I never did. I don't know why she was favourite or joint favourite in the race. I mean, she didn't have the form of the winner or Mother Earth, so fair winner.
I think this is one of Oisin's best rides of the week. I think he said something after the race that he said, if I don't touch her mouth and leave her to it, she'll win.
That's it. Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
Tom, what do you think of it?
Yeah, she's apparently a very difficult mare to ride or filly to ride at home as well. But I put her up in the Chiefly Park last year, and I was a big fan of her. I thought she was all speed, to be honest. I was worried about her staying a mile, and I definitely didn't think she'd stay a mile in soft ground. But no, she's done it well. She's a really lovely filly, and Andrew Bowden had some wheat, didn't he?
Very good week.
She brought Oisin off the last as well. As soon as they gone over the line, Oisin absolutely chucked off the horse. The horse is an absolute nutcase, but you know, it does the job in hand. She'll
grow on you.
Most horses like that when they've run a race, like, and especially a race on soft ground and a Group 1, that they're tired and they don't have instinctive reactions to you touching their ears like they normally would on a fresh Monday morning or something. And he touched her here and she was gone. She was gone.
Get off me, you.
Yeah, she did not want any bit of that, and she just disappeared from underneath him. But she looks tricky, but God, she's talented.
Very talented. Just touch on something there, lads, I talked about in the comments. You were on about horses being overbacked, like the American ones there. Cape Gentleman was another one that was way overbacked. Are we getting to the point where horses that Rachel's on now are going to be way overbacked?
That thing went off the price he did. I don't know.
It went off 11-4 or something like that.
He had form behind him, though. He had bolted up on his last flat start, so.
Yeah, but
it depends on the occasion. It's like it was her ride at Royal Ascot. She's going to be back.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about.
Is races during the week. It was her one ride. Like if she went over and raced at something at Auteuil like she did, she rode Ajas, didn't she? Over at Auteuil, and the horse was well back, but still just didn't do anything. But that's going to be the case. If she goes for that one ride somewhere special, they're going to back the horse. The horse will be absolutely hammered it. But
that's what I'm on about now. Her horses, as in if she's riding in some races like this or in France or wherever, she's going over to England for one ride on a Saturday. The horses are going to be overbacked.
Yep.
You need to back the horse, not the rider.
Exactly.
The rider's a benefit. You need to back the horse, not the rider. When you're looking at a race, just don't look at the rider. The rider's a benefit. If you get a decent jockey on board, fine. But at the end of the day, you're looking at what the horse has done. So that's my opinion on it.
That's true. Right. Moving on. Wonderful tonight. Brushes broom to the side. Everything came in her favour. Rain came. She was a dual Group 1 winner on that ground. Of course, in distance winner, it was all there. Well, yeah, again, this could have been another. Ryan was way too far back to even give Broom the best chance of putting it up to Wonderful tonight, but she was a very good winner in the end.
Yeah, he wouldn't have beaten her. For me, she was the most impressive winner of the whole meeting. I back against her at her peril on heavy and soft ground. She's as good as anything on that ground.
She grows in stature when she gets that ground. She's at least a stone better on that ground. She
looked like she needed a trip, like the 1 mile 6 trip last year. Yesterday, she showed a turn of foot. She traveled like a dream, and she scooted 3 lengths clear, and then it was just kind of hands and heels from there on in.
Very ground dependent.
Yeah, I wouldn't back her on good or firm ground, but you're literally backing at your peril against her when it's heavy or soft ground.
Impressed, Sam?
Yeah, she was a hell of a prize, wasn't she, considering the form on that ground. I know they said the horse wasn't 100% ready, but it looked like she was pretty ready to me. But, I mean, lads, you look at it now, over Mile 4, over at Paris in the Arc. Snowfall, Love, Wonderful Tonight, and Tarnawa. What a bunch of fillies that is. That's going to be some race if they all turn up there. I just think that, yeah, she may have been the most impressive winner of the week. I'm not 100% sure because I thought Poetic Flair was impressive, but I think the Arc's going to be so good if they all turn up there. I thought Wonderful Tonight was really, really impressive, and yeah, going to need the soft and heavy going. That's what the horse wants, but you know, the Arc's been like that most years. You do get some juice in the ground on Arc weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that horse play a major part in the Arc.
Yeah, the Arc will be good up to the furlong and a half pole, and Tarnawa just goes, bye.
Do we know when we're going to see her, by the way? Does anyone know where we might see her?
It's definitely an autumn campaign. I think end of next month, start of August.
You do realise who trains her?
Yeah, no, Dermot Wells, I'm saying Piston Star.
Yeah,
he's not a good trainer, apparently.
Literally take everything I say literally, don't you?
Well, you said it.
Dermot Wells, taking the piss. Like, of course, Dermot Wells, one of the best trainers ever to come out of the country. Jesus Christ, he's won Breeders' Cups and Melbourne Cups and
no mind licking his hole now.
Backtracking there.
People just can't take jokes, sarcasm, people. Jesus Christ. Tom, what do you think of it?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was very good. Me and Dave were having the chat over a very early point yesterday. And my worry, Dave was very keen on her. My worry was that she is literally, until yesterday, never raced against colts or geldings. All of her runs have been against fillies and mares. And there was just a niggling doubt in my mind. Could she go and do it against the geldings, and especially the older horses? Turns out she could. I thought Broom was a bit far back, but again, I think she just won so well. I don't think you'd have beaten her anyway. Really good performance. As Sam was saying, that there's some crop of them for middle distance races. Be interesting to see if they do all turn up in a race like the Arc. It'd be fantastic if they did. And on soft ground, I think she's proved she can mix it with anyone now.
Yep. Where do you think now? Where's she going? What does she do? She's 100% going to be ground dependent, so you're kind of
ground dependent,
edging towards France.
Towards the end of the season, she's more likely to get softer ground in France. So I imagine they're going to train her for the Arc. Why not?
I'd train her for the Arc. Sam, surely there's a race in Goodwood for her.
No, not late July. The ground will be too good. Plus, David Menuisier, he's French anyway, so he'll probably find a race in France prior to the Arc. I think there is I can't remember the name of the race now, but there is an Arc trial that she could go to prior to the race, and that might be it. It might be a short campaign to the Arc.
A Prix de la Goodwood.
No, don't even.
Yeah, there'll be a few nice races for her in France, I think, if they want to bring her over. So
Yeah, I think that's where she spend the rest of her season. It's very rare they're not on the soft side over there.
Yep.
Moving on to the last one. Dream of Dreams makes the dream come true.
He finally did it.
Finally done it.
I've never backed this horse ever, but fair play to him.
I beat a furlong and a half out, and he pulled it out of the bag.
Fair play.
I had him in a tipping competition. I think he's the one that secured second place for me.
I was disappointed in Nahar, but there you go.
He looked beat a long way out.
Oxted upheld that form, so he let it down, the Starman form, but there you go.
Horses for horses, horses for days.
I'd give Nahar another go, but he was disappointing now yesterday.
Sam, what do you think of him? Dream a dream.
Yeah, it wasn't a race that I got too jiggy about in the end, to be honest. I wasn't too excited by it, but I thought Dream of Dreams, that was again Ryan Moore at his best. I know he's given some horses some shocking rides, but that was very, very good. Horse was off the bridle 2 furlongs out and then weaved in and out and just found the way home and finished so strongly. Pretty much a typical Michael Stout horse, really. 7 years old and seems to, still be, well, maybe not improving, but still be at the top level. So, it was really nice to see Dream of Dreams get a Group 1 on the board. I mean, just quickly, because I know this is the last race that we're previewing, I did want to give a mention because I'd like to hear your opinions. But Point Longdale in the Chesham might have been one of the most impressive 2-year-olds I've seen for quite a while.
Guineas
was very immature and looked very, very novice-y, but I think this horse has bags of improvement. Looked like it's going to fill out the frame. And God, I think 16-1 for the Guineas. I wouldn't be back.
Guineas winner.
I did try to tell you he'd beat Masakela, but you weren't for listening.
But I know for a fact that they think a hell of a lot of that Masakela, and I think the Queen's horse who came second, I mean, they were fairly well clear. I thought I think that's going to turn out to be a really decent race, and I'm hoping that we'll see some of those horses at the Vintage at Goodwood.
Point Lonsdale is
surely on commission.
Point Lonsdale is probably a very good horse because his breeding is all middle distance 3-year-old stuff, and he's by Australia, so they generally want more than a mile. He's falling asleep.
A nice frame as well. That horse will fill that out and be really nice.
Well, by his breeding, he shouldn't be an early kind of season 2-year-old. He shouldn't be winning races now, so he's obviously very, very good.
He's good. He's very good.
Tom, do you see any of the think will run well to try and Pearl?
Some of those 3-year-olds that are rated like 100 and something that Joseph and Aiden have, I'd love to see some of those go hurdling because they're just a complete way. Either that or they sell them to Australia and get millions for them because they're a complete waste of time. They're not going to win handicaps. They're not going to win group races. You literally either sell them or go hurdling in my book. So I'd go hurdling. Screw the money.
You see what Gary Moore's got though for a triumph.
Gotcha.
Do
you know what the thing about
something of Gary Moore's that goes and wins at Plumpton by 800 lengths, and then everyone will be like, "It's the next coming of Goshen." Yeah.
The 6 furlong sprinters.
The sprinters. It was fun while it lasted, Tom. We got jump racing in again.
The sprinters in general, to me, are and have been disappointing for a while. So I really hope one of them in the July Cup, and I hope it's Dragon Simba, comes out and batters them all, and we actually see a superstar in that division. Because without Battaash, they're just all much of a much.
His name is Diligent Harry.
Him, Rohan, and Dragon Symbol are top notchers.
Look, that's the same face he pulled when I said Subjectivist. It's great.
I'm a Dragon Symbol fan now, Dave, as well. I'm banging that drum now.
You're banging who?
What?
Wow.
You're banging what drum?
Jesus Christ.
Diligent Harry.
Oh, Dave. No, Dragon Simba. I'm a fan of him now. I am banging that drum.
You have to be after what Rohan did in the Wokingham. You have to be.
What do we make of Starman though? Going to the July Cup if they do come. Because we all fancy Starman. We were massive.
We do, but
Sam, where's the July Cup on?
July the 10th. I might be right in saying that.
What track?
Newmarket.
The stats.
Good.
The stats.
See,
the stats against 4-year-olds are diabolical. It's a 3-year-old wins it majority of the year. So, again, 3-year-olds in the middle of the summer are getting all the allowances. Dragon Symbol is going to batter him. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Tom knows it as well. I can see it in Tom's eyes.
When he does the finger, he's had to put the hex on it.
I'm so
I'm telling
excited.
I can feel it from you, Tom.
Starman. So I think Dragon Symbol will be the one to do it.
Oh,
You can take Starman if you want, Sam. I'll have a match bet with you.
No, we both like both horses, but I do think Dragon Symbol would be the one I'd select. But I think Starman will go there, and I think it will.
He will go there, but he won't win.
God, you used to love that horse. At the start of the season, you were banging on about Starman. Now you're all over Dragon Symbol. Look at that. One little Steward and
It's a figure business we're in, and he's grey.
this
Yeah,
would
so you know
this
what
would
I
be the
mean, like?
part in the pub where myself and Tom go for a pint, and two of you just argue this out.
What more do you want? He's a grey Group 1 sprinter.
She's
This
not
is
feeling-
where, Andrew, I jump in with something interesting about horse racing, which somebody put in the comments about Princess Zoe being quoted for the mare's novice hurdle, and said that there was a horse on Sky Bet also quoted at the same price as Princess Zoe, 20-1 for the mare's novice hurdle. And I checked, and she is there, and her name is Shauna Housings.
Yes! Come on, Shona.
He also asked, I'll answer his question. He said, are they in the same league? No.
What?
How do you know?
You are fired.
She might progress. She might keep progressing.
Send her the Cadran as well. Send her the Cadran, they can fight it out.
That's not.
No.
That's
We
not
have
a
our
Goodwood.
Yeah.
You don't want to see any other racing unless it's a Goodwood.
You imagine if they had jumping at Goodwood, Sam would just be all over it. He'd be a jump fan then.
And Goodwood is just a mad track because you need to be drawn on the inside and be trained by Mark Johnson, and you win money at Goodwood. That's all you need to do.
You do, yeah.
Oh, and subjectivist.
Literally,
Unless you Stradivarius.
he's gone, Sam. Just give it up.
Yeah.
Because don't even talk, Nancy. He's not gone. Yeah, he would have finished.
Okay,
It's like you're talking about his child.
Okay, I'll have a match bet with you for Goodwood. I'll take the Subjectivist.
Congratulations, you just won money.
Is that a no?
Do you think just the horse would? Do you think it will win by lengths, or do you think it will just win?
Batter.
3 lengths.
Batter.
I'll have a match bet with you. I'll text you after this.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, look, he's going to want lengths and everything now.
I'll,
Look at him.
I have clauses.
I'll post the text message so everybody knows.
We need to make a little
He's,
group.
he's thinking about it now.
Yeah.
He's trying to think about how can I make this
How
work
can
for
I
me?
moonwalk out of this? Just backtrack. Get me out of this bet.
Subjectivist was beaten by Mogul at Goodwood in the Gordon Stakes. As simple as that. Mogul. Say again.
1 mile
Mogul.
4.
Yeah,
Subjectivist doesn't
yeah.
win Goodwood.
What was this week over? 2 mile 4. Yeah, shut up. You're a little
Right in
whippet
the middle,
got
they meet
beat.
bang in the middle.
Your whippet
Wow.
finally
They
met
meet
his
at
match.
2 mile. 2 mile.
Shut
bang in the
up.
middle.
Get back in your box, you little sauna.
To be fair, honestly,
Come on the sub.
if you want Stradivarius to be Subjectivist, you better ring John Gosling and tell him to get him horny again somehow, because he's not winning that unless he's acting up.
Or send him over to his best friend Bob Baffert for his outdoor stable tour. No, it ain't happening, Sam. It ain't happening.
Whatever they were doing last year, they were surrounding him with fillies or something. Do that again, because
Yeah,
He
they'll put
needs
a Billy Pacemaker in it or something like that. That'll be ideal.
yeah, that might work.
Won't be able to get near subjectivist though. Subjectivist will be gone that way.
Just chase the filly around then. They go the wrong way around the track and everything.
Do you think they start dropping through the field and subjectivist or Strad just start ponying next to her? How you doing?
Oh,
On that note,
On that note, we are back next week and we are previewing the Irish Derby Festival, which is going to have crowds for which is going to have crowds for the first time since God knows how long ago. It's going to be 1,000 people in there. We didn't get tickets.
didn't we?
No, it was only people in Kildare got them, which is kind of countryist, countyist.
Aaron Casey better be going.
Oh, 100% Aaron's
I
going to
hope
be there.
Aaron's going.
Come on, Aaron.
is
Be
he?
there. I don't know.
Nah, probably not, but I hope he is. He's from Kildare, so.
Oh, and just another thing. Again, a point that Adam made, and I'm going to make again. I'm going to make for the rest of the season. These 2 mile 4 races, handicaps on the flat, are easy to solve. You back the jumps trainer, end the story. Ian Williams, Won the one on Tuesday.
Yeah, but we backed the wrong horse.
Yeah, we still the same thing. We didn't back the wrong one on yesterday. Like you did.
Two Ian Williams horses in the
He backed the wrong one.
in the 2 miler on Tuesday, and they were 66s and 100 to 1, I think. So I went for the bigger priced one. I said Ian Williams might win this. Of course, the other one won, but sure, there you go.
And Willie Mullins had one entered in the one yesterday. It's not rocket science.
No, Andrew was giving you tips on the flat. Still talking about jumps somehow.
It's great. Anyway, as I said, we are back next week, Wednesday, for our Irish Derby preview, which is going to be exciting.
I'm not here for that.
What?
I'm only joking.
I was like, Tom, Cheltenham Investment preview.
I have nothing else to do, so I'll be here.
I'll be here as well. Right. So I'm going to say this again, right? I could repeat myself.
I'm just like annoying you.
All you have to do is still be breathing and you're annoying me.
Oh boy.
See, no one else has got a way of saying that.
Sam is still thinking of how he's going to win this Stradivarius.
Yeah, look at him. The cogs are turning in his head. How do I get out of this? What am I after doing? And you'll be probably there now, and you're going to have to record it, and you'll have video evidence of it.
I'll be there. Oh, I'm there.
He's locked in his phone, it's sweating it out.
He's going to rent that out to Oisin now if he wants to sweat before before Goodwood.
We'll get Oisin on our preview for Glorious Goodwood, and we'll make him say that Stradivarius is going to win.
And then Oisin's a smart man.
Oisin knows the time of day.
He's a smart man. He's Irish.
He did say he had his best book of rides he's ever had at the Royal Meeting, and he proved that and got top jockey, so fair play to him.
And the one horse I backed him on, he fucking didn't win.
Whoopsie. Right, anyway, lads, we see you on Wednesday.